We have all heard the saying, don't judge a book by its cover, and this line couldn't be more true for social media. Most of the things we see are just an illusion because the people we see on our screen can be very different in real life. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing because sometimes we try to entertain people. It is necessary to play a character to gain more audience. But what if the character whom you loved a lot on social media and idealized turns out to be a criminal in real life? This case is about one such influencer named Seo Won Jeong, also known as the Mama Guy. There is a very good chance that you guys must have seen some reel or video of Son Wong Jong because he was Korea's most popular individual creator with over 55 million followers at that time. Just to give you an idea of how big this number is, only BTS had more followers than Son Wong Jong at that time. But what makes this more impressive was Sun was not a K-pop sensation like BTS nor a celebrity. He was just a normal guy and his journey started in 2020 when people were sitting inside their homes due to corona and at the time TikTok was booming on internet. Seeing this, Son also started making TikTok videos as his college extracurricular activities and in just 1 year he gained 30 million followers. The reason for this was his good looks of course, but it was also his funny video concepts. In his video he used to play some funny characters and used to shout mama like a child, due to which people used to call him the mama guy. And also in this video I will call him the mama guy only. Mama guy used to upload multiple videos daily. He used to do collabs with celebrities and used to get millions of views and likes from it. And at the age of 26 this boy was experiencing global stardom. But then something happened that changed everything in the mama guy's life. After 22nd July 2023, the mama guy had disappeared from social media. He wasn't uploading a single video after that day. His management team was also not giving any explanation about his disappearance. But just 4 months after his disappearance, on 23rd December 2023, a news came out which shook all his fans. The same news was running in all the major news channels that a well-known personality was undergoing some serious investigation for a very serious crime. Even though initially the news channel had blurred the face of this personality, but it did not take any time for the people to recognize who this guy is. And it was none other than Son Wong Jong. Son's fan was in hope that they would soon get to see the Mama guy, but what they didn't know was the dark reality behind the character of Mama guy. Now you must be thinking that how did he get into this mess? And to answer this question, it is very important for us to first know about this guy. Son Wong Jong was a normal boy just like us. He was not much different from us. He was born in a well-off and loving family in Daegu city of Korea. For privacy reasons, he also never told much about his family publicly. But what do we know is that his parents were like any typical Asian parents who wanted their son to study well, win trophies, and get good grades. His parents encouraged him to study and do extracurricular activities right from his childhood. He was always encouraged to do so, and that's why he was very good in studies. And he always had good grades in school, and because he came from a well-off family, he never had to face any problems. He never felt the lack of anything in his life, and he was always ready to try new things. You guys must have noticed when we were children, so we feel like becoming different things. Someone wants to become a firefighter, someone wants to become a doctor, someone wants to become an engineer, and the same thing happens with Sun too. When he was in elementary school, Sun was very passionate about mathematics and science, and in middle school he wanted to become a professional boxer, for which he even went to take professional training. But he grew up, and when the time of going to college was nearing, he had developed a lot of interest in mixing and mastering in music production, for which he also did a sound engineering as a major course in his college. But being a typical Asian parents, his parents did not want his son to go into music industry and wanted him to become a doctor or go and work in a good company. That is why they didn't wanted son to go to college and do this sound engineering course. So he made a condition in front of his parents that if I graduate with good marks, please let me do this sound engineering course and let me just follow my dreams. And for this he worked very hard and he graduated with very good grades. And his parents finally allowed him to do the sound engineering course. And with their permission, he went to Seoul to study at Tong Institute of Media and Arts. Since childhood, he was popular among the people around him because he was a very cheerful and friendly personality boy. Hence, he soon formed his own friend group in college and he used to live in an apartment with his friends. But while he was in college, In 2020, Corona came, and at this time, everyone was locked in their homes, which meant that Son was locked in his apartment with his friends. All the people were using their mobile phones too much at this time, and you must have seen how rapidly similar things like YouTube and TikTok were growing all over the world. This is why Son also decided to post videos on TikTok about his extracurricular college activities. As he posted his first video on TikTok went viral and he got millions of views. After this response from the audience, he understood what he has to do to go viral and he never looked back. He kept uploading videos and soon he became the biggest creator of South Korea and was earning a lot of money. That is why he no longer had to depend on his parents for his needs, nor he had to ask for their permission for anything further. And now he stopped taking permission from his parents before doing something. Just like any other teenager, Son also had a craving of freedom. He also wanted freedom, and as soon as he had got money and freedom, so he did not consider it necessary to take permission from his parents even for big things. But along with all these things, with this fame and money, the schedule of Son also became like a celebrity. He remained busy the whole day, sometimes with interviews and sometimes with collabs. There was not even a single minute in his day when he remained free or did not make TikTok videos. This very tight schedule was becoming very burdensome for Mama Guy, and he felt a lot of times burnt out and exhausted. That's why whenever he felt burnt out or whenever he used to feel exhausted, he always used to go with his friends either to clubs or pubs or to have some drinks. Because Son did not live with his parents anymore, he did not have to take any kind of permission from his parents. He was just doing whatever he wanted. He had completely stepped out of his parents' shadow and he was just living his life on his own terms. And he used to be such a cute boy in his videos who used to shout Mama Boy again and again. But in real life, he was absolutely opposite. Due to sudden fame and money, Son's way of living life had changed. He was following a very unhealthy lifestyle. He often used to go to pubs and used to have parties and drugs with his friends. Now he was living a high life in the high society of Seoul, in which there were only drugs, parties, and girls. And he wasn't only the reason of this transformation, he was surrounded by influencers who consumed drugs and all. Because there was no one there to talk about his lifestyle, about his choices, or to point out his mistakes. And because his friends were influencer friends, they would not point him to the right direction. They just wanted to enjoy off his money. They just wanted to gain attention off of his attention. That is why all these things were leading him in a direction which would make his reputation so bad. The numbers he had earned through hard work and the people he had earned were going to be destroyed in July 2023. Like every time he was present in a social gathering with his friends, in which they were solely enjoying, but at the same time, these people were also finishing their glasses with one drink after another. Meanwhile, Son and his friends' eyes fell on a very beautiful girl who was present in a club at that time. Son and his friend had liked this girl at first sight. That is why Son went to this girl for a small talk. And because of his fame, or maybe because of his looks, he struck up a very good conversation with this girl, to the point that both of them were comfortably talking to each other. But unfortunately, the intentions that Sean and his friends had regarding this girl was not at all good. They were constantly trying to get into her pants, but there was no positive response coming from that girl's side. He had understood that this girl was not one of those girls whom he used to take straight to his house on the basis of his fame and on the basis of his money. In fact, she was a normal girl who knew who this guy was, and she was just there to enjoy the party. So she was not showing any interest in that kind of things. Sun and his friends were not at all happy with the fact that the girl was refusing them. That is why they made a very smart plan that they would keep talking to this girl, and while talking, we would give her drinks until she became borderline unconscious. And they did exactly this is by luring her in their talk and by making her drink drinks after drinks. She consumed so much alcohol that the girl became unconscious, after which both of them took her to a friend's house. They came and they kept that girl with them the whole night. And I'm pretty sure that I don't need to tell you guys that what they both did to this girl. Just to fulfill their disgusting desires, they robbed the honor of this girl. This girl was not conscious the whole night, but whatever they were doing, she did not know what's happening to her. She did not consent to what this guy were doing to her. But next day, when this girl woke up, she heard the sound of son and his friends laughing, and she also heard the sound of clicking photos. But when her eyes opened completely, and when she came to her senses completely, and when she saw herself, she could not believe what had happened to her. She just wanted to believe that it was a nightmare from which she was unable to wake up. But sadly, the truth was that it was not a nightmare but a reality. And it does not matter whether you are a girl or boy. Just try to imagine this thing that you wake up and you are in a compromised position with strangers in their house and they are taking your photos and videos. How would you feel? It is truly horrifying to think. When she regained complete consciousness, she did not stay there even for a single minute, and so she ran straight from Son's and his friend's house to Gangnam police station in Seoul. Her memory of the night before was a little blurry, probably because of the alcohol, but she tried to remember as much as she could. She told the police everything about what her friends had done to her. Now, if you don't know, such cases are taken very seriously in Korea. That is why the police immediately started investigating. Police was handling such a sensitive case very carefully because they had to make sure that this case should not go into the public eye without any evidence or confirmation. It was no surprise that Sun was the prime suspect of this case, and that girl also told his name to police. That is why the police first went to Sun's house, but even after waiting for a long time, Sun was not opening the door. So they had no other choice but to use force to get into his house. They called the fire department and entered the house of Sun. He was very scared and kept on saying that whatever he had done was consensual. But now there was no use because it was too late. Arresting one of the biggest influencer of Korea had immediately become a news headline, but media needs to be appreciated here because they kept the identity of the victim hidden so that his privacy and reputation are not affected until proper evidence is found against him. However, because of the popularity of Son or Mama Guy, media could not hide his identity. Everybody knows that the man whose face they are blurring on the news is none other than Mama Guy. And because of his involvement in the case, now everyone was feeling disgusted towards him and was looking at him with anger. After the initial investigation, the police handed over the case to court. If all the allegations against Son were proved true, then he would have been jailed for 7 years. The first hearing of this case was held on 17th January 2024. And since then till now, this case is going on in the court of South Korea. There are very strict laws for such crimes, and it is almost impossible for sons to survive this case and remain charge free because there is so much evidence pointing towards him. After this news, people have started hating Son, but there are some of his fans who are still supporting him and they believe that he is innocent. This case is on held right here, and I hope that Son will be held in prison as soon as possible. After listening to this case, you must have understood that it is not necessary that a person should be the same as he appears on the internet. Fame and money on camera is such a thing that spoils person's mind, and exactly the same happened to Son. Not saying that it is a bad thing, that if you are at that age, drinking and like hanging out with other people's. But if someone's personality completely shifts dramatically, it happens that from this A type of person, they become this B type of person. Then surely there is something wrong. There should be some discipline in your life. There should be some limitations in your life. It doesn't matter if you become a very big superstar, a very big influencer, or you become a leader or a king. You should always listen to your parents. With this, the mama's case is on halt right here. Before you go, if you people like to watch true crime documentaries, then please subscribe to me because we make the same here. And do follow me on all my social media just to connect with me. With that, I hope that you guys are happy and healthy. Thank you for watching this video.